What's good, everybody? This is your boy Josh Showtime. This is Showtime's Fight Forum. Got my boy Josh Valles. How you feeling, man?
Feeling amazing. It's fight week, so can't be any less excited than I am right now.
And we have a very big fight. And when I mean big, I mean literally big, because these are two gigantic human beings, and that is Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou in Saudi Arabia. This is a must-see fight, in my opinion. Like, I'm gonna pass it off to you first and say, how excited are you about this fight, and what are you looking forward to in this?
I'm excited for this fight immensely for a few reasons. Reason number one, we've seen a growth in Anthony Joshua in these last few fights.
Yep.
I see a lot more movement. I see a lot more jabs. I see a lot more combinations. Previously, I saw a stiff version of himself. Not sure if it was training or psyche, but now we see a boxer who's moving, utilizing his footwork, and has really just looked borderline unstoppable these last few fights. Then you have Francis here, who we didn't know what we were going to get out of him going into Tyson Fury. And what we got out of it was a guy who we see can really be a threat in this boxing game. So, I'm excited to see the progression that Francis has made, and I'm excited to see the upward trend that Anthony Joshua has, and if he's continuing that, because we all thought Tyson Fury was going to walk over Francis no matter what power he possessed. And here we are today saying, well, we saw what he did against Tyson Fury, so let's sit down and see how this fight plays out.
I mean,
sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so with Anthony Joshua, I think it's on him to show his progression and to wipe away this talk about Francis, being part of one of the elites in the boxing game.
Yeah, man. Like, I'm so amped for this fight. Here's the thing, and here's a big reason why. When Tyson fought Francis, I did not care about that fight. I thought this was going to be a great example to show why MMA fighters should never fight prime elite boxers, and it's just going to get ugly. Same vice versa, them going to our world. For some odd reason. No, it isn't for some odd reason. I was going to watch it no matter what, because, you have to watch it. To see Francis drop him. No joke. When he dropped Tyson Fury, I legit thought this was Rocky. I was like, bro, this is the most Rocky situation. It got to the point I was like, this is fake. There is no way Francis Ngannou, who in my opinion, and I still stand by this, well, no, I ain't gonna stand by it because he looked good versus Tyson, but in MMA world, he wasn't a great boxer. Like, he wasn't. People can get mad, oh, let's stand a third. Watch his fights. Look at the technique. It's awful. Like, it's not good technique. He's just a power puncher. It doesn't matter. He punches you on your shoulder. Next thing you know, you sleep. Like, I seen him kill Cain Velasquez. Like, Cain Velasquez, he ended his career. Like, and nobody even thought he got punched. Everybody was like, he just failed. Like, what happened? They thought he faked it. And then they slowed it and it was like, oh, he actually did get punched. He got tapped and he got KO'd and almost tore his ACL. Like, he just got the touch of God in his hand. Like, it's bad. But yet and still, I was like, that's not going to translate with bigger gloves. And the fact that Tyson Fury is an excellent defensive fighter. And he also withstood the punch of Deontay Wilder, who I had pound for pound as a more powerful puncher than Francis Ngannou. And he dropped him multiple times. And I was like, I don't think Francis is going to be able to catch him like that. Granted, I'll also say this. It wasn't a Tyson Fury that was motivated. It wasn't a Tyson Fury that trained the hardest. This was a guy who looked past him. He booked a fight 2 months later. Like, we can also state the facts, and that is a fact. He was not prepared. He did not think Francis was going to be anywhere as good as he was. And as an MMA guy, we should have honestly knew that, because he 2 years into him learning MMA, he was in the UFC knocking out everybody. So we should have known that he can't adapt no matter what, because he's just such a physical specimen. I didn't think it was going to be like this. So that happening, I was completely floored. Bravo. He lost the fight. I don't care what no one's. He did lose. But yet and still, the fact that he even made that competitive as was a win to me. Now, this fight solidifies everything for me. That's why I'm so hyped for this fight. Anthony Joshua will not overlook him. He's not sleeping on him. He is prepared. Okay? He knows that, one, this is a big fight. Two, this can get him a fight with Tyson Fury or Usyk. Well, maybe Usyk, but definitely Tyson Fury if he wins the fight versus Usyk. So he's going to be prepared for this fight. He's not looking past them at all. And Anthony Joshua is still he's not the most technical guy, but he is still technical and he still packs power. And Tyson Fury isn't the biggest power puncher. He has been sleeping people as of late, but he's not the biggest threat when it comes to that. He likes to lean on you and wear you out, and then that's when he builds. He went against Francis Ngannou, who's used to people being really big and trying to wrestle him and stuff like that. That's not going to really wear his cardio out. Anthony Joshua's not going to do that. He's actually going to try to outbox him. So I'm interested to see how these dynamics are going to go. You want to do the metrics. Anthony Joshua's taller, I believe, by 2 to 3 inches. Francis Ngannou has the reach advantage by 1 inch. I actually want to know what Anthony Joshua is going to weigh in at. That's actually like my biggest thing. Like, is he gonna be slender AJ or is it gonna be bulky AJ? Because I think slender AJ is gonna get a much better result than the bulkier one.
Yeah, I'm interested to see the weight he comes in too. I have a feeling that Anthony Joshua is treating this like a true boxing match, not like an exhibition, like he should, right? But I don't think he's going to allow this fight to take him out of what he already planned for his own career, right? So, for example, I don't see him if he feels the need to pack on a lot of weight, I don't think he's going to do that to win the fight. I think his skill set is going to take him a lot further than Tyson Fury did, than putting on any weight. Now, will he be able to absorb a punch from Francis given more weight? Probably. But I think that his boxing skills means more to him for his future opponents outside of Francis moving forward, because I think we can all agree Francis is doing his thing in the boxing ring, but really he had one fight. He's really an MMA guy. There is a possibility he could be in the same boat as a Clarissa Shields, back and forth between the MMA and boxing. Do you really want to invest and change your whole trajectory in Anthony Joshua? Do you want to change your whole body type, your whole everything for one fight for a guy who may not, you may not rematch whether you win or lose afterwards? That'll remain to see on the scales, but I think overall, I don't think it will be a crazy amount whether it's up or down.
Okay. And my thing with Francis, and one, like you kind of mentioned, I don't think Francis is fighting MMA again. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's been my bold take, but I mean, until I see him in is it a hexagon? Because I don't think it's an octagon. It's like a hexagon. Whatever it is at PFL, I don't see him ever fighting there. The reason why is simple. I'm making $20-30 million. Why am I going back to MMA? Smaller gloves, bigger risk, and much lower pay for $1 million.
Well,
We seen how that worked for Conor McGregor.
yes, but Conor McGregor have we seen Conor McGregor box since Mayweather?
No, because he got absolutely beat on.
Right. So that's what not my worry, but that's what I wonder about when it comes to Francis. We know what he looks like now in the boxing ring outside of hitting pads. We see whether he adjusts or anything to Anthony Joshua during this training camp is remain to be seen. However, if Anthony Joshua stomps on Francis, no competition, I can definitely see Francis having to take MMA fights because that will be his only opportunity. There may be some fighters that will then fight Francis for the big name, but they won't be a big name themselves, right? So there's no point in fighting them.
Yes, that's fair. But my big point is Francis is already over, what, is he 36, 37? Actually, he might even be older. Let's fact check that. But we got to also remember his career is not going to be too much longer. He's already making buku cash. I know he has aspirations of doing other things, and whether it is media, acting, or doing something else to like buy his time. But I don't see him in this space much longer. So yes, you're right. He can get stomped out, and his boxing career is officially over because if he gets knocked out clean, especially if it's not even a dogfight, his career is over in boxing. He's gonna have to, if he wants to compete, go back into MMA. But it's one of those, he don't have to. We gotta remember where this dude came from. Dude came from Cameroon, and he was dirt poor. Man was working sand dunes and things like that. This man was absolutely poor. Now, This man is rich. Rich. All right, now I forget who made the quote. I believe it was a boxer when they sit there and say it's completely different waking up in the morning wanting to get punched in the face, making $20 million. Like, it's completely different. I'm cool being punched in the face. I'm only making 15,000 a year, but I got 20 million in the bank. Why do I want to do this?
Yeah, I mean, the boxing money is very lucrative. That is why some MMA fighters are looking to cross over. Even your good friend Sugar Shane O'Malley is looking to challenge some boxers here.
I hope that
However,
happens.
I hope so too. I think he has a puncher's chance. I really do think that way about any MMA fighter. I know the overall theme is they're coming into boxing, but at the end of the day, a fighter is a fighter. To throw a punch is the same way in each sport. So I give him a puncher's chance. Regardless, the money is better in boxing, yes. But if there's no money to be made, or if the money is bigger in MMA, depending on the opponent, than it is boxing, I can see Francis doing both. But I do
PFL
respect
will
your
go
opinion.
bankrupt if they paid anything close to what he's making now. He's making Saudi money right now, all right?
Yeah.
And he's turning 38 this year, so I had to fact check. I knew he was in his upper 30s, but he's 38, turning 38 this year. By the time he does fight in MMA, he will be 38. I just don't see it. And I mean, him fighting Ferreira would be a fun fight in PFL because I just seen him fight. He does have a strong punch. He's actually, I believe, a little bigger. I know he's taller. I don't know weight wise, but he's a little bigger than Francis as well. So it makes it a fun matchup. But I just don't. I don't see it. Just like I don't see Jake Paul fighting MMA. He's signed to PFL as well. When is he fighting? Like, but we're kind of going over. Well, not we. I'm kind of going over. Now let's talk about the fight specifically. Let's do your breakdown, brother. How you see this fight playing out?
I see this fight playing out with Anthony Joshua being very cautious in the early rounds, figuring out kind of what Francis wants to do or how he's going to come out in his second. And then, to be quite frank, I see a late stoppage by Anthony Joshua.
Hmm.
I think he stays away in the first 2 or 3 rounds, middle rounds, going into the late rounds, he picks it up, starts throwing his combinations, counter punching, and I think he gets them out of there in the end.
Hmm. I like that. I like that. Now I am pulling and saying that Francis is going to win by TK. I'm joking. I'm completely joking. I'm joking. I'm messing with you. I'm no,
That's your
no, no. I
opinion.
don't. I don't have no faith in Francis winning this fight. To be honest with you, I feel like Francis had a much better shot beating Tyson Fury than Anthony Joshua. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because I'm not Francis. Tyson is so unpredictable. He is such a aloof kind of person. I mean, he's already been diagnosed with bipolar. We already know the type of mental thing you just don't know what you're gonna get with him. All right, like you'll legit see a flawless performance where he literally dominates Deontay Wilder, and then he'll get cut up by freaking Otto Wayland. It's like what are we doing? Or he'll get dropped by Steve Cunningham. Like what are we doing to get these weird performances? Now, not to say that Anthony Joshua doesn't like lay an egg sometimes and stuff like that. But here's the thing: it's never because of his Well, actually, you could probably say it's his mental too. But it's not necessarily like he's a loose cannon. It's just kind of one of those. Just was a rough night for him. He's gonna always work hard though. Anthony Joshua has never struck me as a guy who doesn't work hard, who doesn't want to actually win and be a better boxer. Whereas Tyson is the opposite. I just don't see a path of victory for Francis. I'm just being honest with you. Yes, there's a puncher's chance for everybody. Yes, but I don't count that as like a real legit chance. I'm saying you have a puncher's chance is basically me saying I don't think you're gonna win. All right, so I think that Joshua is going to be cautious because he's going to worry about that power a little bit. I think that he's going to pop that jab a lot and then try to figure him out, box him a little bit, keep his distance. But then Francis is going to do what Francis does in every fight. He's going to leave his chin up. He's going to leave his chin up, and I do believe Anthony Joshua will clock him, and he's going to sleep him. And I think it's going to be within the first 4 or 5 rounds. I think it's going to be a short night. I don't think it's going to be one of those 10, 11 round fights. I think that Anthony Joshua has the power. I think he has the technical ability to be able to land a clean shot and be able to go night-night. And Francis is going to have a wonderful story. And I hope he proves me wrong because he's already proved me wrong already. But I don't see that happening with this fight.
Yeah, I think all in all, Francis is winning regardless of what the
Yeah.
outcome is going to be, right? So He got out of Dana White's hands, which is what he wanted. It's what he asked for.
And
Then he,
everybody, and look, and everybody trashed him for it. Like so many
everyone.
medias, so many fans saying he doesn't really want to fight. He dropped the bag. This, that, and the third. This man's about to make about $50 million in 2 boxing matches.
Yeah, he's definitely getting the last laugh. That's why I say,
100%.
regardless of this outcome, same thing with Conor McGregor or really any fighter who does a mix of the two sports. They're winning regardless because they're making a lot of money. Now, someone like Francis, I think his window of opportunity is in the first 4 rounds. After that, it's done. So, like the puncher's chance that you were mentioning, that's when that's going to happening. But overall, I think Francis has come a long way. I think for him to book two big names back to back,
The
in my
biggest,
humble,
the
yeah,
biggest names in the
yeah,
heavyweight division.
absolutely. I think I'm overstepping a little bit by saying this, but I almost want to say that he's already surpassed what Conor McGregor did in the boxing world.
Oh,
Because
hold on.
in
That's a
my
debate.
well, the reason why I feel like I'm overstepping is because I think at least for now we can agree that Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, almost no matter what they do for the rest of their careers, won't be a top 3 or 4 like
Yeah,
all-time
never,
fighter. Like
never.
all time, like any weight
Yeah,
class, all time greatest. I don't think
not
that'll
even
ever happen.
heavyweights. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Floyd, yeah, we do have an argument here that could, for some people, that is, no matter what weight class you're at, that is the greatest boxer that's ever lived, right? I give Conor McGregor credit for that alone, and that's why I feel like it's hard for me to say he fought two back-to-back superstars, and that trumps the one all-time greatest fighter in many people's eyes, right? But I don't know. Both of these fighters, Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, are in their prime, winning championships, world titles, not
That's
at the end of their career.
That's more so where I was going with that. Like, I get your
Yeah,
point is very valid. My only thing is, like you just said, Floyd did not take that fight seriously. Floyd was way past his prime. This man literally, like, not only he said it, his own daggone father and the father was training him also mentioned. I remember never forget him going on First Take. And they were like, "How's Floyd looking in the gym?" He was like, "Not good, honestly. He's just whatever." And then he was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "He'll be good enough to beat him, but I'm just saying he hasn't really been training that well." And I'm like,
right.
all right. And then you see the videos of him eating Burger King. Granted, I know he did that with other fighters, but it just showed you his lack of disdain, and also the fact that he literally planned this out by saying, "I'm going to wear this man out. 4th round, it's time," and then literally wiped him after that. So I get your point, but being schooled by a 40-year-old and that literally didn't take you serious and also didn't train, and you had like what, maybe one punch that really landed that was like that may snot come out, like, and
Yeah,
that
yeah,
like maybe. But
yeah.
comparing that to in his prime, just got off a crazy trilogy. Tyson Fury, well, not just got off the trilogy, but a guy who won the trilogy, still in his prime, still knocking dudes out in Tyson Fury, and you drop him, bruh. That's, to me, there's nothing Conor could have done. He could have fought Sugar Ray Robinson and got whooped just like he did, and I still would say what Francis did was more impressive. Like, I'm sorry, that's just easy for me. That, I can't believe he did that.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, yeah, that's why I think I could give it to Francis to do who has done more than Conor McGregor in the sport because like we've been talking about this whole time, age is a factor. Where they're at in their careers are a factor. There's a lot that goes into a factor here. So, yeah, kudos to Francis. I mean, in reality, he's the old guy, right? I mean, he's older than Anthony Joshua. Him
Yeah.
and Tyson Fury may be the same age.
No, no,
No, they're
no,
younger, or he's
no.
older,
Tyson
right?
Fury's younger. Tyson Fury's not
Yeah,
that old. Tyson Fury's like
well,
what,
like
35?
maybe,
Like,
right? Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, kudos to Francis. I mean, he's definitely been taking the bigger risk and so forth, and he's getting a bag. So, really happy for him. I hope he comes out healthy and safe, as I do for Anthony Joshua, because these are heavyweights, and it is boxing.
and it's very dangerous.
So, and it's
Yep.
a very dangerous sport. So, hoping the best for both athletes. However, I think Francis, my hope for him is that even though I think he'll get knocked out in the later rounds, I hope that he puts up a great fight because if he
Me too.
does, hopefully that'll generate, okay, he lost to Tyson Fury, lost to Anthony Joshua. Let's see how he does against a Dylan White.
No, no, no. Forget the Dylan White. That's not the fight we want. You know the fight that we want if he even does well.
Who?
Deontay Wilder.
Oh, a Deontay Wilder fight. Right, exactly. Someone that, is not generating, who has the name, who has the power and the star power, but maybe is not on an Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury level yet, in the sense of these guys are competing for world titles and have been competing for world titles, in the last 2 or 3 years.
I'm telling
Wilder,
you now.
His last fight looks suspect.
Yeah, I'm telling you now. If Francis does really well, he don't have to win, but if he does really well, let's say he dropped Anthony Joshua or something like that, you can have that fight. And this is just me. I believe this. You can have Francis versus Wilder in Las Vegas. You can have that fight. It will be
Or
such
Saudi.
a mega. You can have that because they're both American, but Deontay Wilder is an American story that everybody loves and everybody roots behind. But then you factor in Francis Ngannou, who is an MMA sensation and now becoming a boxing sensation. Oh my God. They both have crazy powers. Just imagine the highlight reels you can put of both of them just sleeping everybody, dropping everybody. Francis Ngannou has dropped everybody he's fought except for Cyril Gane. Like every human being he's ever fought has touched the canvas. You know who also has that same thing they can say? Wilder. He's dropped everybody except for the last dude who was Joseph Parker or whatever. He's dropped every single person he's fought. So I'm just thinking of the devastation highlight tapes and promotions that you could do off this fight. I want to see that fight next. That's the fight that needs to happen if Francis does well.
I think even if he doesn't do that well, it's still a fight that can happen.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can still do that fight, 100%. Because honestly, they both had poor showings. And Deontay Wilder, he needs a name now because that last performance was absolutely embarrassing.
And I'm just gonna throw the craziest thing out there, but it could happen. If Francis wins and Usyk just shuts out Tyson Fury, we might get a Francis Usyk.
No, you have to. I feel like you have to.
I'm gonna call it. I think Francis right now is doing what Brock Lesnar did in the UFC, over a decade ago. I really think that's what can happen if he wins against Anthony Joshua.
100%. 100%. Now, we just definitely went over. I said it was going to be short, but, like I said, we talk boxing. Sometimes you get the rambling. It is what it is. But that's our picks. We both have Anthony Joshua. I have him in the 4th round. He has him in the later rounds. But at the end of the day, we both want a great fight. And if Francis proves us wrong, I'm gladly come up here and say I was wrong, and I'm happy that I was wrong. So it is. I pull for Francis because I love his story. I also, these are both two Nigerian. Well, not two Nigerian. These are two both African-born human beings that's gonna put on for Saudi Arabia. So I'm excited for it. All right, so thank you guys for watching. As always, make sure you follow me at Papa Showtime, Josh Showtime. Make sure you comment, subscribe, and like. Josh, where can they find you at?
Yeah, absolutely. Find me on Instagram or Twitter at firstclass_Valles. Looking forward to seeing you guys there.
All right, guys. Make sure y'all stay blessed. Thank you guys for tuning in.